Is the B to be pronounced in the word limb? What about thumb? Crumb? I'm confused about the differing pronunciations of words that end in B. For example, I remember being told by some of earliest teachers that the B in limb was meant to be silent, and one should properly pronounce it as limb. Now, that seems to me in contrast with the pronunciation of the word thumb, which I find, verifying through an impromptu poll of friends just now, is often pronounced with the enunciated B. If that weren't confusing enough, think of the pronunciation of the word crumb. The enunciation of the final B seems clearly wrong to my ear. But the verb and the participle made out of the noun clearly have their B's enunciated, think crumbled and crumbling. So I guess my question is, what exactly are the rules here? Which pronunciation is more faithful to the etymology of these words?
The rules are, don't pronounce the B in any of the root words limb, crumb, dumb, lamb, thumb. Just check an online dictionary. That is, your friends may be reporting that they are pronouncing the B, but they most likely are not, or if they are being influenced by the question. For some derived words, you may or may not pronounce the B, crummy, dummy, but limbic, the B is pronounced in the latter. As to which pronunciation is more faithful to the etymology of these words, being faithful to the etymology would result in incomprehension for most English words, e.g., night.
All of the words you provide, limb, thumb, crumb, are listed in my local dictionary without a B sound. Things seem basically the same with suffixes, i.e. thumbed has no B sound. Crumbled is a completely different word and receives the pronunciation typical form blee, thimble, tremble, fumble, etc. It is true that crumb and crumble have common origins. Crumb oe crumma, crumb, fragment, from aw.gmc. Root of obscure origin, cfm.do. Croom, do, cruum, gr crum. Crumble, late 15c, creamlin, from oe _ crimelin _, presumed frequentative of jecrimin, to break into crumbs, from crumma, see crumb. The B in each word appeared later, mid 15c for crumb and 16c for crumble. Given the typical pronunciation of the MB and MBLE, it isn't surprising that these words are treated the same. Why they received a B at all is a little vague from the notes in the above link. Digging deeper, I found Anatoly Lieberman who gave a more thorough explanation. The words thumb, num, and dumb have unetymological MB in spelling, though they do not end in L. Why do they? In principle, the story begins in late Middle English. At that time, consonantal groups were often simplified. Solemn and column are now pronounced without N. In the speech of some people, kiln is homophonous with kill, G is always mute in diaphragm, phlegm, and so forth. Because of the simplification, lamb was fleeced of its historical final B. Today B is retained in spelling but not in pronunciation. The same happened to jam, plum, and tomb, borrowed words, along with womb, Old English wamba, belly, compare wamba, the name of Cedric's fool in Ivanhoe, and climb, Old English climben. As long as the simplification of consonantal groups remained in active force, literate people felt uncertain when to write M, as opposed to MB, and began to add B to M gratuitously, a mistake, here, reverse spelling, called hypercorrection. This accounts for the modern forms limb and crumb. The rest of that article is extremely fascinating and highly recommended. Also relevant are words like limber, timber, combine, which most certainly pronounce the B despite the MB. So are other cases of a silent B, det, subtle, etc.
There is no word in English that ends in an MB where the B is pronounced. It is always silent in that position, just like the way the K is always silent in words beginning with KN-. Examples include, but are not limited to, the following: aplomb, bomb, catacomb, corium, climb, comb, crumb, dumb. Lamb, limb, num, plum, succumb, thumb, tomb, womb. Indeed, a native speaker will have considerable difficulty rendering any of those in a way that does have a B at the end.
Before slowing down, please let working mass equipment.